We return to the moment where the questions remained. The story is no longer about what was hidden, but about what must finally be faced. The truth is close now, and every answer is about to change what I believed. Maeve did not sit down after I finished the second letter. She stood near the window with her arms folded tight across her chest, as if holding herself together by force. Outside, the street was quiet. A dog barked somewhere far off. A car passed without slowing. Normal sounds in a moment that did not feel normal anymore. "You knew he was planning to come," I said. She did not answer. "You knew," I repeated. Her chin lifted slightly. "Yes." The word landed like a stone. "How long?" I asked. Her throat moved. 10 years, she said. I stood slowly. "And you let me believe he vanished," I said. "You let me believe he abandoned me." Her eyes filled, but she did not cry. "I let you believe what I thought would keep you safe." "Safe from what?" I asked. "From disappointment," she said. "From waiting for someone who might never show up." "He did show up," I said. "In every way you made sure I never saw." Her hands began to shake. "You do not understand," she said. "Ronan had a way of appearing just when the damage was already done." The name sounded strange in her mouth. Not bitter, tired. "You said he did not care," I said. "You said he chose another life." She closed her eyes. "I said what I needed to say so you would not run after him." A pressure built behind my eyes. "When did he die?" I asked. Her breath caught. "He was supposed to come in 3 weeks," she said. "After the second letter." My chest tightened. "He collapsed at work," she continued. "No warning, no long illness. Just gone." My knees hit the edge of the armchair behind me. "And you knew," I whispered. "Yes." "You buried him without me," I said. She nodded. "You stood by the grave and did not think I had a right to stand there too." She walked toward me then, slow, careful. "I stood there and thought if you knew, you would break." I looked at her. "And now," I said quietly, "what would you call this?" Her lips trembled. "I was afraid," she said. "Not of him, of you leaving me." The words hit differently than I expected. "You thought I would choose him over you," I said. "I knew you would," she replied. The honesty stunned me. "He was your mystery," she said. "Your unanswered question. I could not compete with that." I turned away from her. "You did not compete," I said. "You erased him." She flinched. "He left us once," she said. "I could not let him come back and take you again." "He did not leave us," I said. "You pushed him away, and then taught me to call it abandonment." Her breathing grew uneven. "I told myself it was protection," she said. "I told myself you were better without knowing." "And what about him?" I asked. "Was he better without being known?" She did not answer. The silence stretched. Outside, the sun began to slide lower. I thought about the words in the second letter. "If you do not hear from me again, it is not by choice." He had known. Somewhere in his body, he had known. "You let me believe he never tried," I said. "I let you believe what kept you here," she said. The truth settled heavily between us. Love did not always look like sacrifice. Sometimes it looked like possession. 10 years, I said. I grieved nothing. I healed nothing. I lived inside a lie you kept feeding me. "I did not know how to undo it," she whispered. "You did," I said. "You just chose not to." Tears finally spilled from her eyes. "I was afraid you would hate me," she said. I felt something give way in my chest. "I do not hate you," I said, "but I do see you now." Her shoulders slumped. "I thought if I controlled the story, I could control the pain." "You only delayed it," I said. She knelt slowly into the chair across from me. "I went to his grave alone every year," she said. "I spoke your name into the air and told myself it was enough." My throat burned. "He waited for me," I said. "Yes," she replied. "And I never came." She reached out as if to touch my arm, then stopped herself. "You deserve to know him," she said. "Yeah," I replied. "I did." The room felt different now. Not heavier, clearer. The lie that had shaped my entire memory had finally collapsed. And beneath it lay the simple truth. A father who tried, a mother who was afraid, and a child who paid the price for both. That night, alone in my room, I opened both letters again with different eyes. This time I was not searching for blame. I was searching for him. The truth sat between us like a third presence, not loud, not dramatic, just heavy. My father was dead. He had tried to come home, and my mother had buried that truth before it could reach me. I did not shout at first. I paced the living room slowly, from the window to the door, from the door back to the couch. Maeve sat at the edge of her chair with her hands locked together. "You let me believe he chose to disappear," I said. My voice stayed low, too calm for what lived inside it. She did not answer. "You let me grow up thinking I was easy to leave," I said. "You let me carry that." "I did what I thought was best," she said. That was the spark. "What was best for who?" I asked. "For you," she said quickly. "For us." "No," I said, "for you." Or she flinched. "You did not protect me," I said. "You protected your version of control." Her shoulders stiffened. "You were a child," she said. "You were soft. You were fragile. I was afraid he would appear and disappear again and break you twice." "He was already trying to be here," I said. "And you kept shutting the door." My voice began to shake. "He watched my life from a distance because you decided he did not deserve to be in it." She stood up. "You think it was easy for me," she asked, "to keep all of this inside my chest?" "You did not keep it inside," I said. "You locked it away from me." Her breathing grew uneven. "I was abandoned first," she said. "Long before you were old enough to understand what that does to a person. He left me before you were born. He made promises and still walked out. And he spent the rest of his life trying to come back," I said. She shook her head. "You read his words," she said. "You did not live my nights." Silence pressed in again. Then something inside me snapped. Not like glass, like thread pulled too tight. "Every birthday where I wondered why I felt unseen," I said. "Every graduation where I pretended I did not care who was missing," I said. "Every moment I told myself I was enough on my own because no one came back for me." My voice cracked. "That was you," I said. "Not him." Tears rose fast in her eyes. "I wanted you to belong to me," she said. "I was afraid that if he returned, he would take part of you with him." "I am not an object to be taken," I said. "You were my life," she said. "You built your life by shrinking mine," I said. That landed. She covered her mouth. "I did not mean to," she whispered. "But you did," I said. For the first time, I let myself cry openly in front of her. Not quietly, not politely, fully. I cried for the father I lost twice. Once to distance, once to death. She sank back into the chair. "I loved him once," she said through tears. "And when he left, I promised myself I would never let anyone take what was mine again." "So you took my choice instead," I said. She sobbed then. Not graceful, not controlled. We stayed like that for a long time. Two wounded people in the same room. Both right, both wrong. When the storm settled, my voice returned steadier than before. "You do not get to rewrite my past anymore," I said. "You do not get to decide which truths I can survive." She nodded weakly. "I know," she said. Silence returned, softer now. Then she looked up at me. Her eyes held fear stripped of pride. "If I had told you," she asked quietly, "would you have stayed with me?" The question stunned me. This was not about my father. It was about her fear of being left. For the first time, I saw it plainly. "I do not know," I answered honestly. "But you never gave me the right to choose." Her shoulders dropped. The control was gone now. Only the mother remained. Broken, real, afraid. I did not read the letters all at once. At first I could not. After the fight with Maeve, the house felt like it was holding its breath. We moved around each other like ghosts, careful, bruised, exposed. I took the envelopes to my old room and closed the door. The bed still had the same narrow frame, the same faint dip where I used to curl toward the wall. It felt wrong to sit there as an adult with my father's words trembling in my hands. I opened the first letter again, not as evidence this time, as a voice. His handwriting was steady, not rushed, not dramatic, just patient. He wrote about the weather, about the small apartment he had moved into after leaving town, about a tree outside his window that dropped yellow leaves onto his car every autumn. Then he wrote about me, not as a child he lost, As a person he wondered about. Do you still line up your shoes by size? Do you still hum when you read? Do you still hide your disappointment behind politeness? Each sentence landed with a soft ache. He had been watching from a distance, carefully, respectfully, always outside the gate. I read the next letter. He wrote about my 7th birthday, how he stood across the street from the house with the red sweater folded in his hands before mailing it, how he imagined me pulling at the cuffs I used to chew on when I was nervous. The next one mentioned my 9th birthday, the bird music box, how he had tracked it down after seeing me press my face to a store window from across the street near the library. He had been there, not absent, just barred. Every paragraph bent something inside me. All the moments I had lived believing I was forgotten were suddenly rearranging themselves. I was not forgotten. I was blocked. I read about school events, plays he stood at the back to watch, award ceremonies he did not stay long enough to be noticed. I learned how to leave quietly, he wrote, so your life would not be disrupted by my presence. That line hurt in a way I could not name at first. It was not grief yet. It was recognition. He had been practicing loss for years before I ever knew it existed. I read until my eyes burned. Minutes blurred into hours. By the time I reached the last of the open letters, the sky outside my window had softened into evening. I felt full, not comforted, full, of a life that had been running alongside mine without touching it. That night I dreamed of the bird from the music box, not the toy, a real bird this time, flying low over the yard and disappearing behind the fence. In the morning I returned to the room where Maeve kept the locked drawer, the drawer with the second letter, the one she had hidden. I did not ask her for it this time. She was in the kitchen, staring into a cold cup of tea. I am taking the letter, I said. She nodded without looking up. I carried it back to my room and sat on the bed again. The envelope looked different from the others, more hurried, the paper thinner, the edges worn. This one had urgency in it. The handwriting inside was less steady. My child, it began again, but this time the words shook. He wrote that he was tired of waiting. That time had started to feel heavy instead of hopeful. He wrote that he had been offered a job closer to town, that he was finally stable enough to be seen. I will knock this year, he wrote. Even if the door stays closed, I need to at least touch it with my own hands. My chest tightened. He wrote about fear, about shame, about not knowing if I would forgive him for leaving in the first place. I do not need to be let back in as a father. I would settle for being known as a man who tried. The last paragraph was quiet. If I do not hear from you after this, I will understand. But I do not want to die still wondering who you became. The word die struck with dull force. As I folded the paper slowly, a heaviness settled in my chest. My father wrote with hope until the very end. Hope for a visit, hope for a door opened just once, hope that a child he loved still wanted him. Something in the way the letter ended felt incomplete, not unfinished, just interrupted. There were no closing lines, no signature flourish like the first letter, no final paragraph where he usually softened his tone. It stopped mid-thought, as if life had cut him off before the sentence could land. I read it again slowly, then again even slower. Every time the same feeling rose inside me. There was more to this story. Something is missing, something he had not been able to say, something he never had the chance to finish, and Maeve knew it. I could see it now in the way she flinched when I reached the final lines, in the way she watched me, as if waiting for a question I had not yet asked, a question she had spent 10 years praying I would never form. I folded the letters carefully, feeling the weight of everything written and unwritten, and sensing that the truth waiting ahead was no longer in the pages. It was in my mother's silence, and I would have to break it. As I walked out of my room, I saw Maeve, sat at the small dining table with her hands folded in front of her, eyes lowered, like a woman waiting for a verdict she already knew. I thought the anger would return. It did not. Something heavier settled in its place. Is there any other letter? No, she said, without looking up, and is there anything else that you need to tell me? She looked up slowly. The lie hovered on her tongue. Then it fell away. Yes, she said. My chest tightened. What is it? I asked. Her voice was thin. I saw him again. What? When? I asked. 3 days before he died. The air left the room. He was at the post office, or she continued. I had gone to mail documents. I saw him at the counter holding a box wrapped in brown paper. He turned when I said his name. My hands curled into fists. What did he say? I asked. He said it was for you, she replied. Another birthday gift. He said it was for you and he begged me to pass it along. Her eyes filled. And I told him to stop, she whispered. I told him if he kept sending things, I would move again. I told him this time he would never find us. My stomach dropped. He stood there with that box in his hands, she said, and he asked me if I would at least take that one. Just that one. He promised it would be the last. Silence pressed between us. I took the box, she said, and I told him to disappear. My throat burned. And then, she continued, 3 days later, I got the call. He collapsed at work. Her voice cracked. I put the box in the deepest place I could find, she said. I did not open it. I told myself I was protecting you. Her shoulders shook. I was wrong. I stood slowly. Where is it? I asked. She hesitated. Then she stood and walked toward the back of the house, to the room no one used, to the high closet shelf she had cleared 100 times without touching one small sealed box pushed against the wall. She lifted it down with shaking hands and placed it on the bed between us. The paper was yellowed, the tape dry and brittle. My name was written on the lid, in his handwriting. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then I opened it. Inside was a neatly folded blue sweater, still crisp, still untouched. Beneath it sat a small digital recorder. My breath stopped. I did not know that was in there, Maeve whispered. I picked up the recorder. My thumb hovered over the button. For 10 years I had imagined his voice. Now it waited less than an inch away. I pressed play. Static whispered first, then breath, then a voice I had never heard and somehow always knew. Hello, Arden. If you are listening to this, then your mother changed her mind. Or fate did. My knees gave way. I wanted to tell you this myself, he continued, but I guess I'm not brave enough to. I keep thinking maybe next year. And then another year slips past. His voice softened. I see you sometimes, from across streets, outside buildings. You walk like someone who is thinking even when standing still. I think you get that from me. A breath hitched. I hope you became kind without becoming small, he said. I hope you learned how to take up space without guilt. I hope you never believed the world when it told you to disappear. My face was wet. I loved you before I ever held you, his voice said, and I love you now without permission. The recording ended. Silence rushed back into the room. Maeve collapsed onto the edge of the bed. I thought I was protecting you, she said. I only protected my fear. I did not answer right away. I looked at the sweater, the box, the recorder, 10 years of grief that had never been mine until now. I needed the truth, I said finally, even if it broke me. She nodded. I know. I sat beside her, not as a child, as a witness. I can forgive you, I said, but I will not pretend it did not shape me. She bowed her head. I accept that, she said. That night I played the recording again, and again, and again. Each time it hurt less like a wound and more like a memory finally placed where it belonged. In the days that followed, I stopped feeling like something was missing, because now I knew what had always been there. A love that was blocked, not absent. Some parents lie to protect. Some parents lie to control. And sometimes the truth waits in a box for 10 years until a child grows strong enough to open it. Thank you for watching to the end and sharing this journey with me. If the story moved you, like the video, leave a comment and share your thoughts. And if you would like to stay with more stories like this, you can subscribe and stay connected.